Oumuamua. In 2017, something weird barged into our solar system, but it wasn't a comet, it wasn't an asteroid either, it wasn't anything we'd ever seen before. So of course, we named it Oumuamua, which means a messenger from afar arriving first in Hawaiian, because what the hell is that was probably taken. This was the first confirmed interstellar object to visit our cosmic neighborhood. It came in fast, zipped around the sun, and then it vanished like it had somewhere else to be. But the strange part? It sped up as it left, like a comet would, but with zero visible tail, no coma, no outgassing plume, just a tumbling, cigar-shaped blur, flipping end over end every 8 hours. The alien spacecraft theories flooded in. Some even suggested it could be a light sail, a piece of alien tech coasting through space, but cooler heads and astrophysicists proposed a more grounded theory: hydrogen outgassing. If Oumuamua were made of cosmic ray battered ice, it could release trapped hydrogen when warmed by the sun, thus giving it a push without the flashy tail. Still, we didn't have long to watch it. It was gone within weeks, like a cosmic one-night stand that left more questions than answers. LB1. Sometime in 2019, astronomers thought they'd found a monster. It was a black hole 70 times the mass of the Sun, casually lounging in a binary system called LB1. Dramatic headlines weighed in on how this changes everything, except it didn't, because LB1 turned out to be a case of mistaken identity. Initial data hinted at something so massive it shouldn't exist, too big to form from a collapsing star under normal physics. But high-res follow-up spectroscopy brought clarity. The black hole was not a black hole at all, just a stripped helium star hanging out next to a rapidly spinning B star, which is one of those high-strung, fast-living types that throws off gas like it's perpetually shedding a coat in summer. The trick is that the B star's intense spin and glowing gas disk masked its spectral fingerprint, hiding it behind a messy smear of light. Once astronomers cleaned that up, the real picture emerged, a rare post-interaction binary, where one star lost its outer layers in a stellar tug-of-war. So instead of rewriting black hole theory, LB1 became a stellar evolution cheat code and showed a peek into how stars age, strip each other down, and spin up in weird, unstable unions. It's not the beast we thought it was, but it's still strange, just in a more subtle, backhanded way. And if you're into strange things, you're in the right place. You might want to hit that subscribe button and like the video. Cannonball pulsar. The cannonball pulsar is a city-sized neutron star that got launched across the galaxy like it was shot out of a celestial howitzer. It's traveling at over 1,100 kilometers per second, fast enough to break orbit and bail from the Milky Way. If stars had passports, this one just shredded his and shouted, "I work alone!" Pulsars are weird enough, impossibly dense, spinning hundreds of times per second, and shooting out radio beams like interstellar lighthouses. But this one? It's dragging a 13-light-year-long wake of glowing radio emissions behind it, like a cosmic jet ski tearing through the interstellar ocean. So what fired it? Probably the supernova remnant CTB1, the chaotic debris field left behind after the star it used to be exploded. Instead of going quietly, the blast gave it a supernova kick that launched it at insane speeds. Scientists still don't fully understand how such massive kicks happen, but this pulsar is their smoking gun. Well, smoking cannonball. And unlike most pulsars still tethered to their stellar birthplaces, this one's ghosting the galaxy. Zombie stars. In space, when something dies, it's supposed to stay dead. But when you've got zombie stars, celestial corpses that got the memo, tore it up, and kept shambling across the cosmos like something out of a horror movie with a PhD in astrophysics. Let's start with the white dwarf survivors of type Lac supernovae. Normally, when a white dwarf explodes, it goes full vaporized into the cosmos, but in these rare cases, it blows off part of its guts and keeps on glowing, damaged, disfigured, but still very much there. Picture a star surviving its own funeral and limping away through the nebula. One such undead survivor is nestled inside PA30, a stellar graveyard glowing with shredded filament trails, which is like blood splatters at a crime scene. Then there's SGR 0501 plus 4516, a magnetar with the attitude of a punk rock ghost. This thing is flying through the galaxy at absurd speeds. No one knows where it came from, how it got so fast, or why it feels like it's running from something. Some even link it to fast radio bursts, the unexplained space beacons we keep catching like mysterious phone calls in the night. Whether they're barely alive white dwarfs or runaway neutron stars, zombie stars are proof that space doesn't always play by the rules. Sometimes the dead just don't stay dead. Rogue planets. Imagine a planet with no sun, no orbit, no system, just a giant freezing rock yeeted into eternal darkness. Welcome to the world of rogue planets, aka the vagabonds of the universe. These loners didn't start out this way, most of them anyway. Some were born in solar systems like ours, then flung out like unwanted guests after violent gravitational bar fights with bigger planets or passing stars. Others may have formed straight out of cosmic chaos, never tethered to a sun in the first place. Either way, they're planet-sized bodies drifting alone through the void. Unlit, unseen, and completely untethered. And here's the plot twist. They might still be habitable. If one of these space hobos has a thick enough atmosphere or even a subsurface ocean warmed by radioactive decay, it could potentially hold liquid water. So the space orphans are not completely doomed. We've only spotted a few of these like PSO J318.5-22, a faint glow in the black, or SIMP 0136 plus 0933, a rogue with a magnetic field so wild it gives off radio waves. Then there are jumbos, rogue planet pairs that challenge everything we thought we knew about how planets form and stick together. Space junk. Space may seem vast and empty, but Earth's immediate neighborhood is starting to look like a junkyard. Space junk refers to every man-made object drifting uselessly around our planet, and we're not talking about the odd screw or soda can. This is tens of thousands of dead satellites, used rocket stages, shattered fragments, metal shards, paint flecks, and even astronaut tools, all traveling up to 17,500 miles per hour. At those speeds, a speck of paint can punch a hole through a satellite. The problem is only getting worse. Every satellite that dies up there becomes part of the clutter. Rockets leave behind booster stages. Satellites collide, break up, and create clouds of shrapnel that can shred anything in their path. The real nightmare scenario is called the Kessler syndrome, which is a domino effect of collisions, where debris creates more debris until entire orbital zones become unusable. In short, a man-made asteroid belt around Earth. Even the International Space Station has to dodge flying scrap. Telescopes and communications satellites face growing threats from this ever-thickening cloud of chaos. We can track some of it, but much of it is still too small and too fast to reliably follow. What's being done? Not enough. Mitigation plans include designing satellites to self-destruct safely, and there are prototypes of orbital cleanup missions, but internal action is sluggish. Everyone agrees it's a global issue, but nobody wants to pay for a cleanup crew. Space junk is the universe's version of leaving your trash out on the sidewalk, except the sidewalk moves at hypersonic speed and can kill a billion-dollar satellite. Black holes. Black holes aren't just weird, they're physics gone rogue. These are places where gravity wins, completely. Take a star, crush it down until it collapses into itself, and you get a black hole, an object so dense not even light can escape its pull. Once you fall in, you're gone. At the edge lies the event horizon, a one-way door where time slows to a crawl and escape becomes mathematically impossible. Cross it, and you're part of the black hole's mass forever. At the center is the singularity, which is the point of infinite density, where the known laws of physics break down like a cheap IKEA shelf. They come in different flavors. Stellar mass black holes are born from supernovae. Supermassive ones, millions to billions of solar masses, like to hang in the hearts of galaxies like cosmic mob bosses. Nobody's quite sure how these monsters got so big so fast. And no, they're not holes. They're not empty. They're cosmic trash compactors. We've seen their shadows, thanks to the Event Horizon Telescope. We've heard their collisions via gravitational waves. But we still don't fully understand them. Are they portals? Do they evaporate over time? Can information escape? Black holes are less a thing and more a cosmic dare, daring us to explain them without breaking everything we thought we knew. Methuselah Planet. Meet PSR B1620-26b, better known as the Methuselah Planet, a cosmic relic so old it makes Earth look like a newborn in diapers. Estimated at 12.7 billion years, this planet has been around since the universe was still clearing its throat after the Big Bang. If planets got pensions, this one would have cashed out eons ago. But the Methuselah planet isn't just old, it's weird. It orbits a binary odd couple, a pulsar, which is a rapidly spinning neutron star, blasting out radiation like a lighthouse on a bender, and a white dwarf, the smoldering corpse of a once normal star. In other words, this planet's home system is practically a stellar retirement home with fireworks. Stranger still, it lives in a globular cluster M4, a packed cosmic neighborhood not exactly known for planetary hospitality. These clusters are swarming with old stars and gravitational chaos, which should make stable planetary orbits nearly impossible. Yet Methuselah just shrugs and keeps cruising around its undead sun duo like it's no big deal. The big mystery is how it formed, and more importantly, how it survived for nearly the entire history of the universe, dodging stellar tantrums and galactic mergers like a champ. Urine crystals. Space travel has always been glamorous until someone brings up pee. Then it gets weird, fast. Over the decades, urine disposal in space has gone from barbaric to brilliant, evolving alongside spacecraft tech. In the early days, though, the days of Mercury, Gemini, Apollo, it was all about relief tubes, glorified hoses that vented urine straight into the vacuum of space. Thanks to microgravity and space's frigid embrace, this pee could instantly crystallize, spraying into space as a glittering stream of golden stardust, which is weirdly gross and pretty. During spacewalks, astronauts wore urine collection devices, or UCDs, basically condom-like catheters with bags attached. Not comfortable, but better than going in your suit. On longer missions, disposable absorption containment trunks, or DACTs, which are basically adult diapers with a sci-fi twist, kept things tidy. Modern missions are more refined. The International Space Station uses the Water Recovery System, or WRS, which turns urine into, wait for it, drinking water. The process involves filtering, purifying, and distilling waste liquid until it's cleaner than most tap water. Yep, astronauts drink their pee. Frozen crystals of some old astronauts' pee might still be out there, though, in all their golden, yellow glory. Cremated human remains. Turns out, even in death, some people still want to leave Earth. Space burials, which involve launching cremated remains or DNA into the cosmos, are becoming a legitimate industry. And not just for astronauts or billionaires. Thanks to companies like Celestis and Elysium Space, you can now hitch a ride into orbit or beyond as a secondary payload on rockets already heading skyward. For some, it's poetic, a final voyage among the stars. For others, it's just cooler than a tombstone. So now space dust isn't entirely made from space, it's now mixed with remains of someone's grandma. Earth orbit, lunar orbit, deep space, pick your celestial zip code. Packages range from having your ashes launched into a low Earth orbit, eventually burning up on re-entry like a poetic shooting star, to deep space missions that could last millions of years. But not everyone's thrilled. Some indigenous communities see space, especially the moon, as sacred, treating it like a cosmic ancestor, not a mausoleum. And yes, there are also environmental debates, from planetary protection concerns to whether we're cluttering up space with memorial glitter. Either way, somewhere out there, space dust is 98% cosmic particles and 2% grandma. The Black Knight satellite. Some say it's a 13,000-year-old alien probe. Others say it's just space junk with a fan club. Either way, the so-called Black Knight satellite is the Loch Ness monster of low Earth orbit. Grainy photos, wild claims, zero proof. The theory goes like this. There's a mysterious dark object circling Earth in a polar orbit, way before we even launched anything up there. It's allegedly transmitting signals, observing us, and totally being ignored by NASA because, secret alien conspiracy, obviously. People point to blurry images from space missions and radio signals from the 1920s as proof. Scientists, meanwhile, point to thermal blankets accidentally jettisoned from the STS-88 mission and say, nope, that's literally trash. But facts don't stand a chance against a good old-fashioned mystery. Tie together some radio static from 1927, a few offbeat sightings, and one crumpled insulation wrap drifting in orbit, and boom, you've got yourself a whole sci-fi legend. So, is the Black Knight an alien artifact, or just a glorified space napkin? Most scientists just laugh and move on. But the internet wants to believe. It doesn't matter if it's theoretical, because who doesn't love the idea that E.T. sent a surveillance Roomba, and we've been mistaking it for tinfoil this whole time?